November 12, 2001. At the city of New York. It's a Veteran Day holiday, and everybody were having a day off. But for JFK, it's just another busy day. Several flights will make in and out today, and American Airlines Flight 587 is one of them. Today, it will take 251 passengers bound for Santo Domingo in Dominican Republic. In a cockpit, Captain Edward States, a former Air Force pilot, and First Officer Sten Molen, a pilot flying, had just finished preparing their plane and now ready to go. Shortly after 9 a.m., the plane pushed back from a gate. The pilots started the engines and taxiing to their departure runway, 31 left. Flight 587 will be number 2 for takeoff, behind Japan Airlines Flight 47 to Tokyo. A Boeing 747 then taken off from a same runway that Flight 587 will be using. Watching her go, the controller ordered Flight 587 to stay on hold until they were far enough from a wake turbulence. The heavy aircraft like 747 can generate a large vortex from its wings, and this vortex is strong like tornado, potentially cause a small plane to roll uncontrollably. Even had a small effect on an aircraft like A300, it's better to keep a distance away from a big aircraft, so they can be avoided or encounter just a slightly of it. 2.5 minutes after a jumbo left a runway, the controller cleared Flight 587 to take off. Inside a cockpit, the atmosphere was normal, and both pilots were happy with that distance. The first officer pushed the thrust levers forward, and Flight 587 was airborne before turning left to the south, towards their destination. As soon as the plane left New York, everybody hoped to leave that horrible event behind and enjoy a nice paradise of the Caribbean. A minute later, the wake turbulence from 747 strikes the Airbus, rocking the entire plane. First Officer Molen immediately reacted to this by moving rudder pedals to the left and to the right, to the left again, and to the right again, numerous times. A plane is now swinging violently, like a car drifting downhill at high speed. "Are you all right?" States asked Molen. "Yeah," Molen replied. "Full power, please." "You all right?" States asked again. "Yeah, I'm fine," Molen choked. "Let's go for power, please." Hang on to it, States said, while he anxiously watched his first officer aggressively encounter a turbulence. When first officer kept doing this, he's not realized that he's going to lose his plane soon. Without warning, it's happened. A vertical stabilizer came off, and the plane began its terrifying nosedive toward the ground. The pilots are trying to pull a nose up, but there's nothing they can do. Whenever a plane dived into the ground or fell like a leaf, no one knows. The only thing matters is, the engines were being ripped off from the wings and slammed into a residential neighborhood of Queens, killing all people on board and 5 people on the ground. The destructive scene was so brutal, totally ignited a fear of 9/11 in everyone's mind. Everybody, from top to bottom, feared that it was another terrorist attack. So, New York bridges, airports, and tunnels were closed. Many buildings, including the Empire States and United Nations HQ, were being evacuated. At this point, you might wondering, why First Officer doing this? And why the rudder came off? Well, to answer these questions. First, we need to take a look 7 years period to accident. Molen was flying a Boeing 727 with another captain, and when a turbulence strikes an aircraft, he rapidly moved the rudder back and forth. That captain, though Molen, must be react to engine failure, but after realized that there's nothing wrong with the plane, he asked, "Why you doing this?" Molen replied, "The airline taught me to do this." What Molen had told him to is reference to the American Airlines Advanced Aircraft Maneuvering Program. That program was created to give pilots the skills needed to recover from unusual situations, such as nose-high, steep bank angles, developed stalls, and inverted positions. Interestingly, there's one scenario that related to Molen's action, recovering from the bank angles beyond 90 degrees. During the scenario, pilots were told that their plane is taking off behind a Boeing 747 and received a warning caution, wake turbulence. Then, the plane would encounter wake turbulence, and the instructor presses a button, causing a plane to roll 2 degrees, then roll rapidly to 90 degrees, before the pilots could initiate a recovery. This training told pilots that the aircraft will make a large roll, a control will slow to response, and you need to make a large inputs on both rudder and ailerons in order to regain control. In reality, it's totally wrong. Because of this, First Officer Mullen was convinced that if he don't act aggressively without rudder, he will lose control of his aircraft. At this point, he got caught in a rare and deadly condition known as aircraft pilot couplings, or APC. To give you a simple explanation, First Officer Mullen is now focused only to get his plane out from a wake turbulence. He didn't realize that a plane is swaying and rolling violently because of his inputs. Each time when a plane entered an extreme sideslip, he pressed on with aggressive rudder inputs, putting a plane into another sideslip in opposite direction. Without being aware of it, he is now not fighting against the turbulence, he's fighting against himself. Additionally, the A300's vertical stabilizer was not designed to withstand a huge amount of pressure. Its rudder control system is sensitive to aggressive rudder inputs. And finally, this aircraft had a flaw in vertical stabilizer, and Airbus had fixed it before delivered to American. They had warned American, but they seemed had not detected and let the aircraft fly for 14 years until that fateful day. All of this combined together, creating the unavoidable tragedy, which leading to a destruction of the aircraft, buildings, and the death of 265 people. After the disaster, the American Airlines overhauled its AAMP program to more closely reflect real scenarios. Their pilots were encouraged not to use rudder and to not make aggressive control input. Thanks for this, a same thing that happened with Flight 587 would unlikely to be happening again in a next future. Sadly, this overhaul came too late to save First Officer Mullen, his 259 people, and other 5 on the ground. If he was trained with that lesson, he would likely able to get his plane out from a turbulence and save everyone on board. American Airlines Flight 587 to this day remained as the second worst air accident in Americans' history.